Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I want to talk about my transition away from intermittent fasting and the evolution of my diet and what I've learned over the last 8 to 10 years. Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. Come on over, submit your questions. The best questions I turn into videos just like this. So about 10 years ago, I was on a forum called I'll Pump You Up, and I ran into a diet called the Warrior Diet, which was basically a type of intermittent fasting. And this was long before intermittent fasting was a popular form of diet, before all the articles and information came out on intermittent fasting. So I delved into it and I started trying this eating lifestyle. And for about 2 or 3 years, I don't really remember, I would run pretty much, I think it was about a year, I would run just intermittent fasting, and I'd have very little food to no food during the underfeeding window, maybe a little bit of nuts and fruit and stuff like that. And then after talking to Ori Hofmeckler, who wrote the Warrior Diet, he suggested for bodybuilding that I incorporate some more protein in the underfeeding window. Obviously, a lot of people, this is about the time when intermittent fasting became popular. It became on everybody's radar screen. And a lot of people didn't like, a lot of the hardcore intermittent fasters didn't like that because it wasn't true fasting. And granted, it wasn't. But I found it was a little bit better fit for me. I was getting into powerlifting at the time. So what I would basically do would be to have 4 to 5 whey shakes during the underfeeding window. I would have a lot of this with coffee. So I'd be eating like 600 calories during the day. I'd go do my powerlifting workout, and then I would eat like a freaking slob. And back then I was a big boy, so I'd be having 5, 6, 7,000 calories after 5 p.m. This was a pretty good lifestyle, and it worked for me as a powerlifter. I could get up. I was very sedentary. I just sit and write. I was a writer, still am, but I would not move very much. I didn't have a very active lifestyle. I wasn't hiking like I am now, and it was an okay lifestyle. I found that as a big guy who was eating that many calories, if I was eating more during the day, I felt sluggish. So at that time, it really served me well. And then when I started to transition over into more healthy eating and wanting to not just train for strength, but also to start to train for muscle again, I started adding more and more food and more meals back during the day. And it was a slow evolutionary process. And it's to the point right now where I get up and I eat a protein bar with coffee. Yes, I do that every morning. And then I eat some eggs and spinach. So I eat eggs and spinach and tomato, a mixture twice. And then a later meal, I'll have like protein pancake blondies that I call them, with Greek yogurt. And then I'll have a couple egg cups before my workout. And then when I come home, I usually have rice and eggs. So I eat very, very healthy. A good mix of, vegetables, protein sources, etc. But I found that I enjoy eating more frequently, and because I'm not eating a lot of carbs during the day, it doesn't make me as sluggish. And plus, here's a couple points that I'd like to remark about my diet. I have more muscle now, so I'm able to eat more food. So it's more satisfying for me, because I'm able to, it's easier for me not to do an intermittent fasting diet because I need to eat more to maintain. Right now I maintain at about 3,200 calories, and I just find it more enjoyable. I can snack a little bit throughout the day and then go home and still eat 1,000 calories post-workout. So it's kind of almost the same thing as intermittent fasting, where I get to still have that larger meal at the end of the day. The only difference is when I was a big power lifter and my weight was out of control, I would just eat Doritos and ice cream and all that kind of stuff post-workout. So a lot of people ask me about diet, and I ran a modified variation of intermittent fasting for so very, very, very long, 6 to 7 years or so. And yes, some of you are saying it's not true intermittent fasting. No, it's not. But, you know, I only really had protein shakes for about 5 or 6 of those years in the morning. So it's pretty close to intermittent fasting. Because I'm one of the few guys that ran intermittent fasting for so long, I just wanted to share my experiences with it. I think it can be a good dieting approach for guys that want to eat a lot at night. I think for guys that have big appetites and are trying to lose weight, it's an excellent way. So if you're one of these big guys and you have a big appetite and you really want to lose weight, you can use intermittent fasting. You don't have to be strict about it. Let's just set that straight. I don't care what all the intermittent fasting fanatics out there say. You can have, it doesn't have to be no calories, because we're not trying to be scientifically specific. Not all of us can live that rigid lifestyle, and quite frankly, it's just not enjoyable, because sometimes we want to get out and eat before the fasting window ends. So if you're a big guy and you want to try it, I think it's a great way to lose weight. I would also say don't stick to it just for the sake of sticking to it, because some schmuck on the internet says if you eat 500 or 600 calories during the underfeeding window, it's not true intermittent fasting. You're not going to get the benefits. Forget all that nonsense. Forget all that fanaticism. We are trying to live a healthier life. We're trying to live longer. We need to adjust a diet to make to fit our own needs. So that's the biggest thing I learned from intermittent fasting, is that it's okay to add in a little bit of food during the underfeeding window. Who cares what the science says? Make sure it fits your needs. It's a great way to lose weight if you're bigger, because you can eat a little bit, 5, 6, 7, even 1,000 calories during the day. But I would stick with all proteins and fruits and vegetables. Nothing really starchy, nothing really calorie dense. And then you can even have a 1,500 calorie meal after your workout at night and still lose weight. But I would say if you're going to do this method, make sure you're clean eating. Make sure you're eating mostly clean foods. I would not recommend intermittent fasting for the guys with quick metabolisms or younger guys, because it's simply harder to get all of your calories in. Now, I wouldn't recommend intermittent fasting for someone who is after strict muscle building, because the more muscle you pack on, the more your metabolism is going to go up to maintain that muscle, so it becomes harder to get in your calories. And it just can become a pain in the ass. I like to eat at least 220 grams of protein a day, not just for muscle building, but because I like a balanced diet and I don't like to be carb heavy because of my diabetes. So for that reason, it can be a real pain in the butt if you're trying to intake all of your protein at night in one big meal. If you're going to do it for muscle building, I don't really particularly care what the science says. I think you're better off eating some protein during the day and then spacing it out a little bit, maybe over 3 or 4 meals. Not just because it makes it easier to get in your protein, and it's just not fun shoveling in 180 grams at night. And I really don't think necessarily, it's just my opinion, that if you want to not eat for 16 hours, it's the best thing for muscle building, because I think the body's going to try to adapt to what you're doing and become more efficient at what you're doing. And I think if you're going to try to starve yourself, for long periods of time, I don't think it's optimal for the muscle building process. That is just my opinion, and you form your own opinion. So there are guys out there that intermittent fasting would be, it would be a beneficial diet for you to use, but don't be afraid to modify it. And if you have a fast metabolism, it's probably not a good idea to use it. You could certainly eat about 1,000 calories during the day, but again, I would stick to mainly meats, fruits, and vegetables, and then pig out more at night. But don't be afraid to modify your diet. No matter what diet, here's a take home. No matter what diet you're using, don't be afraid to modify it to fit your needs, regardless of what any voice on the internet says. Because at the end of the day, an eating lifestyle should be just that, something you can live with, something that works for you, something that is working for you. And if you are trying to force yourself never to eat before 5 p.m. at night or whatever it is, and then you go out on the weekends and you're having fun, or you go out on vacation, you're having fun, and it turns into like a religion or rules you can't break, that's no fun, because life is not like that. Physical fitness does not need to be like that. Nutrition does not need to be like that. And over the years, as I started with this intermittent fasting diet, I evolved my diet based on my needs and my preferences at the time. I started out with intermittent fasting and no food during the underfeeding window. Then I added in protein as a power lifter, and it helped. I felt it helped me a little bit. It helped me stay a little bit more focused and more awake and aware, and I didn't feel dead freaking starving headed into my workouts. And then as I packed on muscle mass and lost weight and had a faster metabolism, I just enjoy eating during the day, because if I don't now, I feel like I'm going to kill somebody. I'm so darn hungry. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, check out the link below. If you've made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.